Welcome to Mutually Yours, the podcast by Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Funds for her initiative. And our distinguished guest today is none other than Upasna Thakur, the co founder of MobiKwik, one of the largest fintech in the country today. Upasna, your journey has been so amazing. How do you look at it?
I grew up in an academic oriented family. I come from a Kashmiri Pandit family.
Wow.
So, education has always been very important. Yeah. So, I was going to say that childhood was very interesting, very happy go lucky, dabbling my fingers in many things and not just focus on education. Although it was very clear, like having a college education was a given.
Yeah.
And excelling in studies was also important to my family and also to me. And then after that, I think in terms of work exposure, I got good work exposure working in California as a product manager. And so financial freedom comes as soon as you start working.
Yes.
But it also brings with that more confidence, more
Mm.
dignity in the work that you are doing. I think after working for 3-4 years, I realized that now just the scale of the projects is increasing,
Okay.
and it's not as challenging for me. So I realized, after finishing overall maybe 4 or 5 years of WorkX in the US and 3 years at PayPal, I realized that I should do my own startup. But and because I thought I could do it.
Mhm.
So then the question was that should I do it in the US where I was living, or should I move back and do it in India? And that was another important decision where my family members were very much against me moving back to India and doing a startup here. My dad and mom were like, you have a green card, you can very well start a startup in the US, and then there are more venture capitalists, so you can you can be on a fast track there. But I had this vision that the opportunity in India is going to be much larger for fintech,
Mhm.
and I wanted to do something that created fundamental impact. And yeah, I mean, I landed in India in October, November of 2008, and August 2009, MobiKwik was born. So there you have it. But even today, I always have a running list of things what I want to do. Everybody has a task list, but I
Yeah.
also have a strategic goals list. And at that time, I used to have one in my bedroom. There was a whiteboard, small whiteboard, and I used to write goals for myself. And those could be fitness goals, those could be health goals, and they were also professional goals. And one of my goal was that I want to build a product, that will touch at least 1 million people. So that was my starting point, that I want to build something from scratch that will touch at least 1 million people. And today my company MobiKwik has 180 million users. Yeah, I think I'm happy with where I am. The journey has been fruitful, and I just hope that many more women also take on the entrepreneurial jump. I would love to see that.
You yourself said you had financial independence to yourself, but after a point, I think the moment you started scaling up to your own venture, did you feel that financial independence also helped you to take that financial decision of doing something bigger?
Financial independence is what it gives you: freedom, it gives you dignity, it gives you confidence, self confidence in making decisions. So I was telling you I had a difficult time with my family members and my parents especially, on why I want to start up here in India and give up my nice and cushy job over there. So taking a risk with 1 year of my life or 2 years of my life is not such a big thing, especially at that age, when I was, I think, 28 or something, because I told them, see, I have savings also. I can support myself for 3-4 years. And I just think I need 1 or 2 years to see whether this goes somewhere or not.
How do you see this upcoming culture of women now saving a lot, and especially even homemakers, non-enterprising? Does it really bring in a change?
No, absolutely. I think that it's very important because, see, it's a life skill.
Yeah.
And all the homemakers out there, they're doing a great job managing the P&L of the household. So if they can manage the profit and loss statement of the household, they can definitely figure out, just like we are trying to optimize costs in the business all the time. If they can save 5%, 10% every month and put them towards stable and high yield products, even certain bank FDs are giving 8-9% right now
Yeah.
returns. So that's a start. Mutual funds are giving decent returns. I think there are many opportunities to invest. Even in fact, gold has also been very accretive. So the mindset has to be there.
Mhm.
I'm going to save something and set it aside. And B, then I'm going to figure out how I'm going to deploy. You start small, and there's no rocket science. So one of the big things I want to encourage all women is that there is no rocket science. It's only as hard as, your, it's just inertia is what I would say. If you can choose, what you want to study, how to get a college education, if you can choose a life partner for yourself, then you can definitely invest your own money. And there's so much data available on, the internet now. It's really not a very specialized skill. It's not like you want to become a cardiologist or you want to become a space astronaut. It's something that you have to apply yourself, and just, an hour of reading for a week or 2 weeks will make it very apparent, like, how to get started. So I think it's very important to save and to find ways to get outcomes out of it. And think about it, if you don't tell anyone, and if you save some money and you
Yeah.
make some return out of it, and then you use that return to buy something for your house or for yourself or your family, that'll be so exciting. It's just
Mhm.
maybe that trip that the family always wanted but could not afford. I think there's many things you can do by creating some financial security, and setting aside.
How do you think a person or a woman getting into the entrepreneur journey should look at it very simply, not feel like it's complicated? Like you said, it's not a rocket science, but to many, it appears like a very difficult thing to get into. What could be the simple way to just start living life the way you are looking at?
See, the simple thing is that first you need to have a simple problem statement or simple strategy or simple vision statement that you can write in 1 or 2 lines. No hocus pocus. Something, even a 10-year-old should be able to understand. And it could be whatever your goal is that you're trying to achieve. Then you have to figure out that how long do I need to achieve this goal? It depending on the scale of the goal, it could
But
be
having
something
a
you want.
deadline is important.
Yes, having a deadline is important. And then let's say if it's a big project, let's say if it's something like, um, let's say I'm 33 years old and I'm a working woman, I'm working in some setup in some company, but I have an aspiration that I want to set up my own business. Then depending on how complicated that whatever you want to build is, you start planning for it. You give yourself time. For example, if it is something as simple as something you're already doing, let's say you are a marketeer and you want to start your own marketing consulting company, then I would say that, break it down into three things. What do you need? You will need prospects, you'll need clients. So you start making lists of companies, you do the research, you start networking at least with people in those setups in those industries. Without, you can't pitch because you're still gainfully employed, but at least you start making your target list. Then you start making your pitch deck or something. So the pitch can be ready, the prospective clients can be ready, and I don't know, if you think it will take you 3 months or 6 months to generate a steady income out of that, then you need to make sure you have 6 months of money set aside before you resign and fully apply yourself to building that business. That is sort of how I would take a big goal and then break it into 2 3 ingredients, and then give myself some time to do that. It could be 2 months or it could take you 4 months, but
Yeah.
something like that.
When we're talking about financial independence, you very clearly explained to us how it is important decision making also. But the idea of financial independence is also linked to, as you said, it gives you dignity, confidence. Can we elaborately understand this for women, especially?
I think that you're working for X hours every day, and in lieu of that, you're getting a paycheck,
Mm.
and that paycheck is coming to your bank account. So, if you're capable of earning a paycheck, then you're very capable of managing that paycheck, also managing that money, also, and you must manage it. And managing it doesn't mean that you have an Excel which says that I'll spend so much on food, so much on travel, so much on rent. I don't know, if you have a family, then kids education, etc. Managing it also means figuring out, how are you going to generate better returns for the money that you think is not a need. Let's say it's a family, right?
Mm.
A husband, wife, and kids. You have to be part of the decision making of whether you're going to rent a house or you're going to buy a house.
Yes.
If there are important decisions happening in the family, whether it is for either partner, setting up a business, buying property, buying insurance, children's education. I think every key decision, you have to be a key part of it. You should do your own research about it, and you need to have your own opinion
Okay.
on it. I think that is important, and that is something that no one is going to come and do for you. Somebody is a teacher, and an arts teacher. I'm taking a example on purpose. And I know my kid's art teacher, for example, he or she may feel that I'm not so good with maths and
Yes.
numbers. Again, I will say the same thing. कोई rocket science नहीं है. Everybody knows how you're earning money. Everybody knows how to deduct tax and how much should I earn post tax. If you know that much math, then you know the math on how to manage money also. It's all very well written and available. So if you want to invest into bonds, mutual funds, gold, if you invest 100 rupees, what will what will be the return you generate? All of this data is very easily accessible now from a user experience perspective. We have a very low representation of women in the workforce
Okay.
as compared to women who are getting an education, whether it is high school education or college education, right? The drop off is insane.
Yes.
So I think that there is definitely a lot of social conditioning. Many women are used to family members taking care of them, whether
Yes.
it is for driving them around or whether it is for अच्छा ये मेरा मैनेज कर लो ना
Or
मेरा
even
ये.
the financial decisions, they're okay
Correct.
that you take care. I don't want to, it's just inbuilt.
Yeah.
I
And
think
we are seeing now interesting new plans and financial schemes coming out which are actually more interesting when women are investing directly. So I think that will also help. Like for example, that the registration for property has a lower rate when a woman is owning is as
wow.
compared to a man, or but even there the decision is being taken by the man that this should be in your name because 1% the rate will be less. I think my parting words for all your spectators, very simple message, yaar. We all make everything very difficult and complicated in our mind. Nothing is so hard. So if a young girl with no access to business or capital, from Surat, which is me, if I could build a fintech startup that many people in India would know about today, and if I can build a fintech company from scratch, then you can definitely build your financial future from scratch. So I think you just have to decide that you have to do it and just take the first step. And there you have it. I think that's the mantra. I think if this one podcast can inspire 1,000 women, then I'll happily do another podcast, because I want to definitely be a force multiplier and see more women become financially independent and managers of their own future.
The most inspiring women entrepreneur for you, and why?
I've been quite happy to see how things have panned out, with Falguni's venture, Nika. And not only was she a career banker and then investment banker, but starting up a company, in her 50s. So lots of firsts we have seen there. And she also took her company very early to the public market. So quite inspiring.
What is the most inspiring, most interesting ways of investing that you have encountered nowadays?
So I would say that then it would be early stage startup investing. I think that angel ecosystem in India is thriving like anything.
What is that asset that intrigues you to invest in today by your choice? There's so many asset classes, and people say make a portfolio and go distribute it. What would that be?
I think that mutual funds in India have delivered in a big way. And I want to very clearly say that nobody at Aditya Birla has told me to say this. But personally, I want to tell you that outside of my own company, my largest holding is in mutual funds.
Mhm.
And I think that they've done really well, and they've created a very simpler mechanism for people
Right.
who don't have the time to understand the equities market and the futures options and all the complex things happening there. I think mutual funds are a good enabler where you can look at the data points and the statistics and the performance of the various funds. This, and I would also say real estate in India in certain sectors, has been in certain cities or geographies, has given a strong upside. So but I think these are the two areas where I think that the opportunity of earning returns is great, and the downside has been, pretty manageable. Basically, we haven't seen really things tank.
Thank you so much, Upasna, for your perspective and your advices in the space of financial independence and entrepreneurship. It was a clear pleasure to have you for this podcast.
An investor education and awareness initiative of Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.